Many people find it very easy and convenient transacting business with real estate company. That is when they want to acquire their house or landed property. This is because they know that whether they are in Nigeria or they are in diaspora, any day, anytime they come back, they can always meet their property where they left it. So there are no usually issues of encumbrances here and there. These are some of the reasons why many people actually prefer to buy property from real estate company. However, many people do not know some terms and conditions that they actually need to understand when buying real estate in Nigeria, particularly from estate company. Hello smart investors, welcome to Real Estate Made Easy. This is where we educate you and we inform you about property tips, guides, advice and warnings so that you can be a wise investor and you can avoid costly mistakes other people are making. Today we'll be discussing an important topic, that is 6 costly mistakes you must avoid when buying property in an estate in Nigeria. So make sure you sit back, relax and enjoy this video. And of course, if you are coming across this video for the first time, do not forget to subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification button, and of course make sure that you do not miss our previous episode. Go through them and learn one thing or the other to update your real estate investment knowledge. Now let's get into today's business proper. Several clauses that are embedded in what is known as FAQ. Almost every company that is a real estate developer or a real estate developing company usually have certain document that you must go through before transacting with them. That is, they have it fact that is frequently asked questions, that all pertinent questions regarding that estate are usually stated there. So it is advisable that you make sure that you always go through them. So during the course of today's episode, I'll be teaching you some important clauses that you must be aware of, so that when you are making your real estate investment transaction, you know what to expect and you know what to do when you see certain terms and conditions, and how to actually save yourself from all of this. So number one of them is what is known as payment term. You see, when you are buying a property, in that document known as FAQ, the company usually states the price for the land and as well as the statutory fees that you are supposed to pay. There is usually a form of payment term if you are paying outrightly. So, and of course, if you are paying over a period of, let's say, 6 months to 12 months, that is known as payment plan. So you must be aware what is the implication of this. If you are paying outrightly, usually there is a form of discount in terms of how much you are supposed to pay compared to if you are paying over a period of 6 months to 12 months. If you are extending your period for 6 months to 12 months, there are usually additional charges you are often asked to pay. Payment times, these are important things you must understand. You must understand the duration that you are allowed to make your payment. Usually some company will tell you that payment within 3 months is still considered as outright. For instance, if a property is going for, let's say, 10 million naira for a landed property in an estate, the estate is telling you that if you pay within 3 months, all you have to pay is still 10 million naira. Some will tell you that if you are paying beyond 3 months, then extra charges will be included. So you must understand what are these extra charges that you are to pay if you are paying beyond 3 months. That is, now if you are making a payment plan of 6 months to 12 months, so it is understandable that you must have a clear understanding about the payment structure. And now you must also understand that if you have a delay in payment, maybe due to one reason or the other, maybe the money you are expecting as at that time didn't come as at when you expected it, what's going to be the penalty for that? So usually that same document known as FAQ or your contract of sale, after you made the purchase, it will be stated there that this is the penalty for this and for that. So you must understand those penalties so that you can make an informed decision even before making that purchase, because before you even make an initial deposit, you can go through the FAQ, understand the payment structure, understand the condition of payment, understand the duration of payment, understand the penalty for default in payment. So that will help you make an informed decision. Number 2, building restrictions and regulations. Because you are buying into an estate, they usually have building restrictions and regulations that govern the kind of structure or the kind of property you can actually erect. This is because an ideal estate is supposed to have what is known as layout. So these layouts are usually submitted to the Ministry of Town Planning. That is, it has a structural layout of how the estate is going to be like when it is fully developed. So that layout is already partitioned into whether residential or whether it's going to be some form of commercial activities in the estate. So if your own interest is to actually have a commercial estate, that is, you want to have a shop or you want to have a restaurant or you want to have a shopping complex in an estate, so it must be you must ask whether that estate has the ability to accommodate that for you, because if in the estate layout there is no room for commercial activities that is solely and purely residential, it means that you cannot and you will not be allowed to establish any business venture or business structure in that estate. So you must understand the regulations as well as policies that guides that estate you want to invest into. Again, the kind of building structure also you are allowed to build. Estates usually have policies regarding the kind of structure you can erect. Style of building is another thing. Of course, if you are building into an estate, the kind of structure you can erect, some estates have a pattern of which all the estates, all the buildings in that estate, they have to look like. So the only difference is going to be that internal structure, the way you design your own internal structure of that estate may be different from the one your neighbor has. But however, exterior view of the estate is going to look alike. So you must ask that, are you going to have to build the same pattern of building everybody is building, or you can build a structure of your own taste? So if you decide to build a particular structure that you have always been dreaming of building and the estate does not have that provision for that, then you have to ask from the beginning so that you will not enter into an agreement and later on having issues with the estate. So it is important that, because estates have policies that guide the kind of building they are allowed to build. For instance, now if the estate does not have provision to build towers or high-rise building, skyscraper, and you want to build high-rise building or skyscraper in an estate that maybe the maximum height they can have is just 3-story building, that would not be allowed. Some estates also do not have some provision for kind of building like known as face me as slab hill or bungalow. So you must understand the kind of structure you are allowed to build. That is very, very important. Then again, also if you are buying a property that is already built structure, you must understand whether if you have the ability to increase your own fence, if that is what you desire, or if your fence has to be at the same level with every other person's fence, maybe the SA allows you to have a draft form of fence and you want to build that is a very mighty one, then if the SA does not have provision for that, then you have to know that you are meant to follow what the policy of the building in that SA is like. So you have to know from the beginning. Ask these questions, go through the FAQ of the company, the kind of structure you are allowed to build, and then also a tenant form of housing, maybe to let and what have you, and some estates do not permit that. So you must understand whether even if you build in that estate, you can let it out or you can live in, or they do not allow renter in that estate. So all of this is very, very important for you to have a clear understanding, so that if you are investing and you are buying into an estate property, you know what is allowed and you know what is not allowed, so you don't have issue later on in the future after you must have committed so huge amount of money in buying the same property or investing to the same estate. Allocation. Now that you have succeeded in buying the property, the next thing of course you should be expected to have is to have a physical allocation to your property. Now, allocation are of two forms. Some estates will give what is known as paper allocation, that if you have made a certain form of payment, they will give you, okay, in that estate you are already eligible to a particular slot. But until you make your full payment before they can give you a physical allocation, you must understand the pattern of allocation. Also, you must also understand that some estate will not also allocate to you until you have made your full payment. That is, if a property is going for 50 million, for instance, and until your 50 million naira is completed before you can be allowed to have allocation in that estate. So you must understand what are the conditions for allocation. Some will also tell you that until you pay the ancillary fee or the statutory fee, such as the survey, such as the development fee, and so on and so forth, before you can be eligible to physical allocation, even when you have paid the actual cost for the estate you are buying or for the land or for the property you are buying. So it is understandable that you must have a clearer understanding about the policy that regards the allocation of the property you are interested in buying, so that you don't have the issue of delay allocation when you are supposed to be allocated. Another thing is that when you are meet up your payment for allocation, the pro tip is this: ensure that you pay all the statutory fee you are supposed to pay, so that you will not be delayed when it comes to allocation. Some of these estates have conditions that warrant allocation. Usually allocations are done first come first serve. So the fact that you are the first subscriber to that estate does not mean you'll be the first to be allocated. Usually some company will tell you that until you meet the criteria for physical allocation, that is, if you are paid all the full payment for the property as well as the statutory fees, some will tell you if you meet up to 70% or 80%, then you are eligible to allocation, but you will not be allowed to take physical possession. I will still talk about the physical possession. So that is very important, that you must understand the conditions that are around physical allocation of the property you are buying, so that you know when you are eligible, for you to know where exactly that estate belongs to you, and you can of course become the proud owner of that unit or that piece of land in that estate. But you must know the requirement for physical allocation, and you must meet that requirement before you can be allocated. Physical possession, like I said earlier on, there's a difference between physical allocation and physical possession. Physical allocation means that you have now been given a unit. If you are buying an off-plan project, for instance, or you are buying a built-up structure, that this unit of 3-bedroom duplex, 4-bedroom semi-detached duplex, whatever, it is now allocated to you. That is physical allocation. Or if you are buying landed property in the estate, okay, these 3 plots in block A, street 2, whatever it is that they've named the estate, is allotted to Mr. Matthew or Mr. Ibrahim. So the number of plots you have bought, it will be given to you in that estate. That is physical allocation, that you know a certain portion of the estate that belongs to you. But physical possession means that company have a condition that until you have paid all the statutory fee before you can actually take a physical possession. That is, you can live in the estate, rent, or you can sell your property, an off-plan project or a built-up structure, or that you can begin to build on the land you have bought. That is, if you are buying land, until you have met up all these statutory payments before you can be allowed to take physical possession. Physical possession, that you are taking ownership of the estate. So you must understand the condition for you taking physical possession. Statutory fee or ancillary fee. Like I earlier said, if you are buying into an estate, this payment, some people call it hidden charges, but as a matter of fact, it is not supposed to be an hidden charge. So there's nothing called hidden charge if you are buying from a reputable estate, because it is meant to be stated clearly from the time you want to buy that property. In that FAQ that I've earlier told you about, that you frequently ask question, ask from the company, let me see the FAQ to this estate I want to subscribe into. So understand the terms and conditions that are in that FAQ. Frequently ask questions, or the contract of sale that you are supposed to be giving after you have made your purchase. You can request for a soft copy of the contract, so that you understand what the contract entails even before you make your subscription. So in this FAQ as well as in the contract, usually you'll be told that, okay, this is the amount for the land, and these are the amount for the statutory fee. What are the statutory fee and what are they used for? Statutory fee include a service charge. A service charge is usually charged when you have taken physical possession of the estate. You are already living in the estate. So those services you enjoy, somebody coming to dispose your waste bin, somebody coming to open the gates for you when you want to enter, and so on and so forth. Those are the services you are enjoying. That is called service charge. That is usually charged when you are taking physical possession. Another example of statutory fee include your deed of assignment. This is what transfer the ownership between the company and you. So the company transfer the ownership that, yes, you have subscribed to 3 units of 4-bedroom semi-detached duplex in this estate. Now we have given that interest that we have over to you, because you are now the rightful owner. So that is simply what the deed of assignment entails. Or you have bought an acre in the estate in terms of piece of land, and now the estate is now transferring the ownership to you, that you are now the rightful owner from the company to you as the person who have bought it. So that is simply the deed of assignment. So usually you pay for that. That is what deed of assignment as a form of statutory fee, that is what that one is used for. Then survey plan. Survey plan is supposed to show you the boundary of your estate, the boundary of the land you've bought. Where does it begin? Where does it end? Your name has to be on that survey plan, as well as information in terms of measurement and all of that. So that is also a statutory fee. Some company will tell you that until you actually pay this fee before you can be given this estate, before, whether you are buying a physical structure or you are buying a plot of land. So you must understand the statutory fee, and you must also understand how much they actually cost. If anybody is telling you that don't worry, just buy now, they will determine those fees later, please be careful. Do not just subscribe. Ask them that you want to know what it entails, so that you can know whether it suits your need or it's beyond your expectation. Refund and termination. Because you are, of course, dealing with an entity, a company, who is the developer of that estate. So the estate is like a body, you are another body. So usually, like I told you, in the FAQ as well as the contract of sale, there are usually conditions for refund as well as termination. For instance, now due to one reason or the other, you could not go ahead with that transaction again. So you should ask, is there a way you can actually get out of that transaction if you are no longer interested? So it should be clearly stated that, okay, these are the policy that guides exit strategy. If you are no longer interested in this property, or if you want to pull out, this is what it entails. So you must understand the requirement for that. Also, for refund, if the company also do not do one thing or the other they are supposed to do, is there a refund policy based on what you have agreed? So you must also know that that's the pro tip, that if you want to buy a property, always go through the FAQ. For instance, now during the COVID-19 as well as the lockdown, a lot of people actually couldn't meet up with certain payment obligations they have agreed into in buying property or buying some other businesses they actually were interested in, because they couldn't get access to funds, or some of them even their salary was reduced and so on and so forth. So they could not go ahead with certain obligations they have earlier made themselves to do. So you must understand the refund as well as the exit strategy. Also be aware that there is usually a penalty for refund if, for instance, you have subscribed to a property in form of off-plan project and the company has already started doing something on your property and then you want to pull out. The company usually have a penalty for that. So you must understand what is the penalty for it. Some will tell you that if you are buying a property, for instance, a landed property, maybe a plot of land, that your refund attracts 35% administrative charge. That is, whatever it is you have paid, less 35% of it. Some put those big percentages in order to discourage people from actually pulling out. So you must understand what is the penalty if you want to pull out, if you are no longer interested into one reason or the other. Because if you are investing in real estate is a long-term investment objective. So if you are investing now, it won't be too good that you are pulling out, another person is pulling out, another person there. When will the company be able to deliver on the promise? So you must understand that if you want to pull out, what is the penalty and when can you pull out? Some will tell you that before you can even pull out, you must be up to at least 6 months before you can pull out. And if you want to pull out, this is the charge they will charge you for pulling out. So you must understand the duration of time you can pull out as well as the penalty for pulling out. And also, if it is a company that actually did not deliver, you must understand how to demand for what is meant to be demanded for. Let me give you some pro tips, because you know with Real Estate Made Easy, we love to give you professional advice as well as warning, as well as how to make wise real estate investment decision. So now that you've understood some of the clauses that are usually embedded in buying from an estate company, now you must also know how to also demand for certain rights if you are entering into agreement with this company. What are the things you can also request for? Now that you have read the FAQ, you have read the contract of sale, you can also demand that, okay, if you are buying an off-plan project, what is the clause for refund? That is, if promise the company has made to deliver this unit for you, let's say in 6 months or in 12 months, what's going to happen if the company did not meet up with that obligation? Because you already know that, like I told you, if you are the one that defaulted in making your payment as at when you have agreed to pay, the company will charge you for delay in payment and they will charge you a certain amount of money as penalty for that. So you can also request that if the company fails to deliver based on its promise, the agreed time is supposed to deliver, and the company did not deliver, what's going to be the penalty? So I have a demand for that. You can also demand for a clause in terms of quality assurance. Quality assurance in terms of the clause there has to also be well established to protect you as a wise investor. That, okay, if the company too did not meet up with the quality in terms of the material they want to use in building the structure for you, or if it's not the property you are buying, if the company did not allocate to you when you are supposed to be allocated after meeting up the requirement for physical allocation, what's going to be the penalty for that? Or they did not even deliver your estate to you and they are telling you cannot even take a physical possession when you have made all the necessary fee you are supposed to make. So you must also demand for the clauses such as what is in there for you if the company did not live up to expectation by fulfilling their own promise they've made to you in terms of quality assurance. Also, if there's a delay in delivery of either the units you have subscribed to or the delay in allocation of the property you have subscribed to, whether landed property, you should also ask for what? For compensation, and it should also be documented. Whatever agreement you are having with the company, ensure duly written. Also, do not also forget that before you append your signature on any document given to you by this company, ensure you understand it very well. That is why it's good actually to work with a reputable and a trustworthy property consultant, or you also work with a trustworthy property lawyer so that they can guide you with all of these terms and conditions embedded in the FAQ as well as in the contract of sales. So I hope you have actually learned one thing or the other, the costly mistakes you must avoid when buying property in an estate company in Nigeria. If you have found this video educating and very empowering, why don't you subscribe to this channel if you are yet to do so? Turn on the notification button as well as send this video to your friends and loved ones so that they can also maximize this opportunity that you are maximizing. Also, you must also know that if you have any questions that has to do with what you have discussed, or you have any question of interest to you, feel free to let us know. Either you call our hotline, as you can see on your screen, or you check into the comment section for our number. Or you can reach us via a WhatsApp call or via a normal call. If you can also send an email to us regarding your question, we'll be happy to help you go through some of these things. Or if you have gotten a property you want to buy, I want to be sure that whether the conditions in the contract of sales are favorable to you or not, you need our expert opinion on that. You are free to get in touch with us, and we'll be able to give you a candid advice and honest opinion. With real estate made easy, of course, our aim is to empower you so that you can make the right real estate investment decision. I remain your award-winning real estate consultant and property advisor, Bello Kamaldin. Till I come your way again next time, please remain blessed. And thank you for staying tuned. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and, of course, share the